It's like a very surrealistic existence. I'm not quite sure if it's real from day to day, you know. And then you shake the bars.
He's been living in a concrete cell in the federal jail in Rio de Janeiro for 8 weeks. But 39-year-old Martin Pang isn't fighting to leave. He's fighting to stay rather than be returned to Seattle to face charges of arson and felony murder.
I've been judged and already tried in the eyes of the media and the public, and it's not fair. I'd like the public to see that there's two sides to every issue, and just to be treated fairly. You know, to me it seemed like a witch hunt.
It all began on January 5th when the Seattle frozen food warehouse owned by Pang's parents went up in flames. 4 firefighters died fighting to save the building.
And when I heard about the 4 deaths of the firemen, I cried. You know, I think of my family and what would have happened in those shoes. When I finally got up the courage inside to go down and see the building, it was like saying goodbye to a sibling. And I also said a prayer for the firemen and their families.
Authorities targeted Martin Pang immediately. According to court documents, the month before the fire, Pang had told a friend, quote, the warehouse would burn down in the next month and it would look like transients set the fire. Pang's name was splashed across the headlines as the prime suspect, but authorities didn't publicly issue an arrest warrant for weeks. They failed to nab him in Los Angeles, and by mid-February, Pang had fled to South America. Why Brazil?
Well, there's supposed to be no extradition from Brazil, and I figured that the dust would settle, the truth would come out, and then I could go back. Basically, I was running scared because I was being railroaded, still am.
On March 16th, Brazilian authorities arrested Pang, but his fate is still unclear. Although Pang has already been in this Rio jail for nearly 2 months, it could be another 3 to 6 months, perhaps longer, before he learns whether he will be extradited to Seattle, and if so, under what conditions. Brazilian authorities are vigorously defending Pang's rights. Federal police kept close watch during my interview, and the Brazilian courts barred me from asking the question everyone wants to know, did you do it? Pang previously claimed his innocence. During our jailhouse interview, he says he ran because he was scared.
If they don't solve this, then I believe that the 4 firemen's deaths might be for nothing. And I could see how they could see that, you know, because then it would almost be a senseless death. If they have somebody to put on the frying pan, then it doesn't become a senseless death.